Welcome to our first official episode of Tough Table. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our guest. First is WNBF Pro in figure and fit body. She won the 14?
13
Worlds in the tall class. Yeah, and in the 14 overall figure world title for WNBF. We have Ken Jefferson. Okay, newly crowned WNBF Pro, bodybuilding lightweight. Next we have WNBF Pro figure and fit body as well, Liz Myers. She went pro just this year too, along with Kenny, Northeast Classic and the Herc, right? Mm-hmm. First I want to get a chance to, for you guys to get to know everybody. So we're going to start off with Heather. A few questions. We're just going to deal with who are you? Where are you from? And then we're gonna go into what motivated you to get involved in the fitness industry, and lastly, why did you choose Team SUF?
Okay. Well, I'm Heather Drake. I'm from Ohio. What motivated me to become involved in the fitness industry? I was a runner before I started this sport, probably for about 3 years. I enjoyed it, but I was never really good at it competitively. So after my first marathon in Chicago, I decided I wanted to compete for a show and step on stage, just put it in my bucket list. Didn't know where it was going to take me. It kind of took off. Moving forward about a year later, after I got my pro card, my first show, at my second pro show, I meet Ryan. And
Northeast Classic 2013.
That is correct. And I was by myself. I had a coach back home who was training me. However, I met Ryan at a very critical time in my career path because I was not headed down the right direction in terms of my health. I didn't receive good guidance when it came to nutrition, and he helped me. He's my savior, I will say that. That's what my mom calls him. He's like my
I'm not all bad, guys. I'm not all bad.
He's not all bad. So, and I've been with him ever since. And he's been my saving grace, and I love the team, and I believe his philosophy, and I think he's just going to keep moving forward.
All right. So, next, Ken. Who are you? Where are you from? What motivated you? And why Team SUF?
Hey, my name is Kenneth Jefferson. Most people just call me Kenneth Jefferson.
Okay.
What motivated me to get into the industry, I usually tell people one or two reasons. Growing up, just to read comic books and whatnot, and I wanted to look like a comic book character.
Okay, fair enough.
But once I get to know you and tell you the real reason is I didn't think I was cute enough to look like a slob. So that's pretty much why I got into fitness and got on stage. Why I chose Team SUF is a friend of mine, Tyrone, who's also pro. He turned me onto the team. I saw the product they were putting out and I liked it. And one day I just got on the phone with Ryan and gave him my credit card information, so I figured I might as well just follow through it.
All right. Liz?
I'm Liz. I'm originally from New Jersey, now out here on Long Island. I'm actually an accountant. And that's pretty much what led me into fitness. 4 months out of the year, I sit behind my desk, 80-hour weeks. Gained a little weight, became harder to hide. I was very unhappy that way, so I started working out. Met some great trainers at my local gym. They kind of put that bug in me. Someone at work mentioned, my cousin's nieces, whoever's sister, someone, they were in a bikini show. You should do it. You're in really great shape. And I was like, oh, sure, why not? I thought I was in great shape. Went online, started searching natural bodybuilding, came across Ryan, his website, and then I was like, looked a little bit more into bodybuilding. I was like, it's a bunch of young girls. Not for me. I'm a mom. I've had 2 kids. How am I going to get in shape? And then I came across Heather's bio and profile. I was like,
Giggity.
She's not in her 20s either. She's got 2 kids. I'm like, she's amazing. She's great. I was like, I could do this. This is the team for me. So I called Ryan. We met at World Gym. He forgot about me a couple months later.
I forgot I met her.
He's like, who are you? It's been great ever since. And I believe in Ryan and this team, and I'm very happy to be a part of it.
All right,
I
good.
did not know that.
Yeah, well, we saved it for
That's
this.
awesome to hear.
All right, so now that you get to know everybody, all right.
Brian actually didn't show up to the first time I went to World Gym.
What do you
He
mean?
didn't show up.
When was this?
We had a session and he didn't show up.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
You're out of your mind. Don't listen to this guy.
All right, I was late, but that's not
Yeah,
the point.
He was
That's not the
45
point.
minutes late, and I
No,
left.
no.
And I said, listen, if Kenny's coming to the gym, if a guy, Kenneth Jefferson, comes to the gym, you tell him that I have a 15-minute policy and I'm out. Okay? Kenny's got like his own time schedule here. All right, so I just got a brief little introduction on everybody. Earlier this week, I decided to post a poll on the Team SUF site. And that poll was going over the direction of natural bodybuilding. And, in that poll, it asked simply, right straight to the point, do you feel that natural bodybuilding is heading in the right direction? Yes, no, or nobody cares about natural bodybuilding. An overwhelming 60, I think it may be even up to 65% of people stated that no, like natural bodybuilding is not heading in the right direction. So a poll like this hits the industry like a little green monkey getting drop kicked in the back.
Otra variante, ya que tanto que sea una de los infumables. ¡Ah! ¡Qué bueno que le fue así! ¡Ah, qué bonito! ¡Huele moles!
Oye, dio un mortal hacia atrás,
Oye, lo van a matar.
Salió catapultado.
Oye, ahí va, mira nada
Fíjate
más.
cómo pierde.
Cayó como pasajero de mi
He was a little green monkey. He was minding his business.
Okay, so we can talk about the monkey, we can talk about the poll. 60%, Heather, 60% in the industry that, you are a figurehead in. Like, what do you think? Why 60%? Why do 60% of people, probably even more, I was too busy to check the poll this morning, but last I checked it was 60%. Why 60% of people do not think that it is headed in the right direction?
I think honestly, and this is just my opinion, but just based on some of the events that have occurred over the past few years, natural bodybuilding seems to mirror the same thing as NPC, or IFBB as you would call the sister organization, in terms of aesthetic looks. I think that there's extremes to everything in life, and there's been a lot of backlash in terms of the extremities of the sport, in terms of the health issues, overtraining, and the balance. So I think it's gotten a bad rep, but I think that it's gonna do better, just with everything that's happened in the other world, the dark world. I think that Natural Bodybuilding Federation is finally gonna get the recognition that we deserve, and as rightfully it should. But I think that, I think everybody at some point should just assess what their motives are and why they're doing it. Some people are doing it for aesthetic reasons, some people are doing it for health reasons, I think everybody at some point suffers from health, just because you go through so many extremes with diet and with training. You kind of learn yourself in the process, and you don't really have a life. So of course, when you're on social media, because that's big with fitness, that's what people are broadcasting. So I think a lot of it's just miseducation. That's just my opinion.
All right, Kenny.
I think it's headed in a good direction.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, well, like she said, I'm pretty much new to this, so I didn't really know too much about natural bodybuilding. And when you look at it online, like she said, you just see guys who obviously aren't natural, who just juiced out of their mind. And I guess natural bodybuilding just needs a little more exposure.
How do you get that exposure though? Like, what's in this poll? The 60% of people, these 60% are not. They're not necessarily, the broad masses who voted in this poll. The people who voted in this poll are people who are just like you, just like me, just like Liz, just like it's mostly probably competitors who did that. The people who probably said yes are probably the people who are running the shows. But why? Why are 60% of the people who are taking this poll like? I get that point. Yes, the underexposure, which is an issue, which becomes a marketing issue, becomes a branding issue. But why are people? These of that 60%? Let's say that 75% of them are competitors. Of that 60% who said that we're going in the wrong direction, let's say 75% of them are competitors. Why do those competitors feel that we're in the wrong direction?
I mean, I think that a lot of competitors that feel they're going in the wrong direction, they probably don't have the guidance that we have. Like, I'm not trying to big up our team, but usually even when I take an L or something, it's just hate. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. Like, I lost, so the shit's not going the way I want it to go. So I'm just gonna troll the internet or troll the polls, and try to get another look. So that, I think it's a lot of hate.
All right, Liz.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of not knowing what the natural bodybuilding world is about, and also I think it could be somewhat of some of the recent shows or even last year where there have been some. I don't really want to touch judging too much, but I feel like they're kind of crossing over into what NPC is looking for. The girls' looks are becoming harder and not as soft, and venturing into maybe the next class. So people are feeling that maybe they're trying to mimic NPC and get more exposure that way if they're pushing a harder look, a bigger look. And again, a lot of people think everything, no matter what, whether it's the natural organization or not, that there's politics involved. Who's coming with the biggest team?
Usually us, but
or who's the hometown favorites? And I think they think that has a lot to do with it as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, politics is definitely going to have an impact on any sport where things are not clearly defined. Like, if you're doing something that's measured, you can't really cheat who wins. I don't know. Like, I feel like you guys are taking the perspective of maybe. I think you're overlooking that maybe 60% of those people are seeing maybe some of the things I see, or maybe some of the things I see are extreme inefficiencies. Things are not being addressed in a timely manner. I don't know. I don't want to throw too many stones right now, but I'm good at it.
Throw.
But I don't know. I've been in this industry for, I guess I started in 2006, started competing as a nobody. 2007, still a nobody. Consider myself now still obviously a nobody. But each year I have to improve. Each year the team experience has to improve. I have to become more efficient at coaching. The team has to become more efficient. The staff needs to become more efficient. If the staff is not efficient, they're gone. This is a business.
Right.
Okay, and you provide a service and you provide an experience. So not even just year to year. I feel like, again, I'm not trying to make myself seem like, oh, I'm here and everyone's here, but I'm just trying to take you through my daily thinkings. I think the first half of the season went pretty well. We brought in a lot of pros. We started this season probably better than any season we've ever started. We brought in a whole bunch of risks. We brought in a whole bunch of technology that's never been seen before at these shows, which is a big risk, and it all paid off. And at the end of the day, what happened? At the end of the season, instead of being like, oh, we're good, let's ride into fall. Every piece of equipment that I built, I said, maybe in a year or two from now, I'll make some updates. Already version 2 on everything. I just feel like certain things need to be more efficient, more progressive in thinking. The marketing, the media, it's like we talk about exposure. Exposure is you control the message. Like she said, she went and searched for natural bodybuilding. She found me. Why did she find me? Because I made sure she found me.
Right. But do you think the whole industry has the same outlook that you have? Like, maybe not everyone thinks like that. That's why it's in the state that it is now.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak for anyone but myself. I see things. And I see things that could be more efficient. I see things that could provide a better user experience. Everything's about the user experience. Like, if you go to a show and you don't place as well, listen, when you place well, it coats a bad show. Like, let's be honest. If you win at a shitty show where you had a horrible time, you won, so it doesn't matter. But when you don't place as well and the show doesn't go as well, timing is disastrous, this is being lost, you can't find this, everything's a mess. Now it's like, not only did I not do well, but like that was a waste of time and that was a waste of money. So am I looking at this? Heather, give me something here.
Well, just based on my experience with you, you didn't have as large of a team as you have now. you stood out because of your t-shirt. I'll never forget it. Don't be soft. And I was by myself.
Motherfuckers are soft.
You had about 3 or 4 people.
It was me. Yeah, when I met you, it was me, Fred Miller, and Tyrone.
Yeah, you had about 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And just seeing you over the years, because you went with me to the Worlds the first year.
13. Yep.
It was just me. You were a pacer at the time. However, you stood out to groups that had teams. I'll never forget that. That's how you found Courtney.
And those
they
people,
found
yep.
you, Shanaz. They remember the interaction of watching you and your professionalism and how you just were so organized and you thought your processes through, and then your team started growing. And last year was my first year being with the team, not just me by myself. So I'm sitting from an amateur view, watching your staff, Shauna, your angels, just, I mean, I don't know how you did it. And you were calm, and you have customized programs for each person. Not every coach is capable of doing that. Not every coach is capable of evolving their athletes.
But is this a coach's standpoint, or are these people not pleased with the industry as a whole? Like, is this a coaching thing? Is this high up the totem pole?
I think Kenny nailed it. Everyone has different experiences. When it comes to coaching, I think, yeah, that has a lot to do with it, because that's where you're going to get your good or your bad experience from. Let's take, for example, Kelsey yesterday. Well, I don't know if we want to speak names and you know, but anyway, her first experience was terrible. She didn't have good guidance. She met you. Best experience she's had. She's never seen her body look the way it looks. She feels good. She has energy. She's confident. That's what it takes. When you don't have good coaching, you don't have good confidence, you're not going to think good about the sport.
Right.
So you're saying it relies more on the coaches. You're saying.
I think it's the experience and the guidance, because we do not all get, Lord knows, not all of us receive good guidance.
Liz, you got anything?
I agree with what Heather's saying, but I also think it is the organization themselves.
I'm a Liz.
They're not putting themselves out
Heather.
there. No, when I tell people, they ask me, oh, you compete? And I'm like, yeah, like, oh, you do NPC? I'm like, no, I do WMBF, IMBF. And they're like, who's that? What's that?
It's a problem.
And it's like, oh, they're natural bodybuilding. I try to explain it. I'm like, it's great. It's, I feel like it's a level playing field. And they're like, oh, well, how do you know? Everybody's probably doing everything anyway.
Right.
It's just, everything is, everybody's on something, everybody's doing something. So why bother with that little organization? Just go straight for NPC. So I feel like it's some of the organizations, well, they're not putting themselves out there. There's not enough promotion. They haven't made a really big name for themselves yet.
Okay. We're going to move on. That's good. I like this next topic, right? Is America full of wusses?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. Have we transformed into an entitled society where everybody gets a trophy?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Kenny, I'm going to start with you. Are you a wuss?
No, I mean, I try not to be a wuss.
Okay.
I mean, of course, everyone wants a trophy, but shit, you gotta earn it. I mean, if I knew that I could just show up, eat like shit, get on stage, I would probably still did it, as long as I knew I was gonna get a trophy. But that's what our society's become. Like, everyone gets a fucking trophy. You show up, you get a trophy. Like, growing up, I played baseball in my life, and if you didn't win, you didn't get a trophy. If you didn't win, you went home crying. But nowadays, you tell your kids you're gonna show up, you're gonna get a trophy.
Yeah, I hear there's some sports where they don't even keep score anymore.
No.
It's just, it doesn't matter, and everyone gets a participation.
Everything's a scrimmage.
But what do you really learn from that? Like, winning is not everything. Wanting to win should be something.
Winning is everything.
Of course.
Win.
Yes.
Right? I play for keeps.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But nah, like you said, even at my job when we have the cops versus kids game, I play to win. If I don't win, I'm pissed.
Throwing elbows.
Well, what are you working towards if everybody's getting something?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's happening
What's your
across. I feel like it's happening. We're not even talking just in terms of natural bodybuilding here. We're talking about across the board. Sports, youth, everything. It's breeding some weird type of
entitled brat.
Yeah, and then when they get to the real world, it's like, you sit down with a CEO for a job interview, and it's just like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna cut it. And then,
But no, I showed up, so you have to give me this job.
so where did we go wrong?
Well, I mean, we start with because we are the ones that are raising the generation below us, and we are the ones that are kind of like middle of that have these.
So we're excluded from this because we have no kids. I
Yeah,
have dogs,
yeah.
so this
I have a
is.
dog too.
I mean, we can't carry that same. I mean, it's going to start with us.
Yeah.
We can't continue that same cycle. So, I mean, as long as we continue that same cycle, it's going to get worse with our kids and the generation below that.
So your kid has a football game today, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
He's scrimmaging.
But is it a real scrimmage or it's like a game coded as a scrimmage?
He's traveling to 2 different cities, so technically, yeah, it's like a real scrimmage.
All right. So what do you tell him? Do you teach him to win? Like.
I teach him not to be a poor sport.
Okay.
I teach him that we cannot.
Well,
always win.
wanting to win and
Wanting
losing
to
bad
win.
are two different
Right.
things.
Your
Yeah.
goal is to win. You don't train to not win.
Right.
That's your goal. We all fail at some. I don't want to say fail because let's take it to terms of bodybuilding. Okay, when you're out in the morning training 5 a.m. and you're working your ass off and you're trying to, reach a certain goal, you've already won before you even step on stage.
Right.
That's winning. Do you want to get a trophy? Is that your goal? Hell yeah. If you don't place, is that a disappointment? Very much so. So I teach my son, you're going to win, you're going to lose, but always stay humble no matter what. Because what happens is people get a small taste of success and they either burn from it because they let it go to their head, they get a little too confident, which confidence is important. We tell society, be confident, but don't be too confident. So I don't know.
So how did you not become so confident? You went and you pretty much win everything.
My experience. My experiences, because I mean, I'm not going to say I had a horrible life before this, but I was not where I'm at now in terms of my mindset, my life. I was in a very dark place. So being able to remove myself from a very toxic situation that I was in, that had my boys involved in, and then to see my life blossom and to find my purpose, this is an eat or get eaten world. I don't have to be Rule 1's, athlete or 361. They can drop me at a dime because somebody else up and coming is better than me. I know that I can lose all this at any minute, any moment in time. I can have nothing. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is promised. Nothing is permanent. That's how I stay humble, because I know I had to work hard to get there. And I tell my son, be humble. Be humble in your success. If you take a loss, let that be your motivation to fuel your motivation to become better. That's just the way I guess I was raised in life. Maybe just the experiences that I've had.
Mm-hmm. Kenny, what you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, she pretty much summed it up, man. I mean, like you said, as far as being soft, I think just all of us, America's lost its fire. Like I used to tell you all the time, when I first started, I used to always say, look, I just don't want to come in last place. But then when I got to the show, I was like, fuck it, I want to win. Like when I got in the mode of competing, I was like, look, I want to win. Then I was like, look, I want that helmet. But then they didn't have helmets.
But we got you a
We
helmet.
got my helmet.
Oh,
You know?
is that your helmet?
Yeah.
Got him out, of course.
Right,
That's
helmet.
what's up.
Of course, got him his helmet.
But that's pretty much it. We lost the fire, and like I said, growing up, I was always hungry. I was always competitive. I always wanted to win. Like she said, I always stayed humble when I won, but I always wanted to win. I didn't want to see the other team smiling and happy. But now it's like when you go to little kids games, everyone's happy. I was never happy after a loss. I don't have kids, but I have a niece, and I don't let her win at anything. Right? That's just the way that I am. So she stays hungry. She's not a bad kid, but I just want to win. And that's the problem. Everyone knows, if I know I'm going to get something, what's the point of me going as hard as I can possibly go? That's what we have to go back to.
Are you hungry?
Always. Absolutely.
You got kids too.
I have kids too, and you know what? I'm tough with my kids, but that's how I was raised. I mean, you win and you lose, or there's consequences for things. For example, one of my kids wasn't doing homework. I know when I was growing up, you never wanted that call home from school.
What?
Ever.
Hell no.
Ever.
What?
I went to the conference. It's my fault my child didn't do his homework. And it really didn't matter because they give them the opportunity to finish homework in the morning. And I'm like, no, if he didn't do his homework, then you get a 0, you're in trouble, you go home, you face mom, there's consequences. It's like, no, we give them a chance. Everything is like, yeah, we're just going to help them along. We're going to push them along.
So how do you fight the system? If the system is doing that to you?
I would continually write notes back when they'd say your child did not do your homework. I said, I know. Teacher stopped bothering me. My kid had almost went to summer school, almost had to repeat the grade, and we talked about it. I said, no, there are consequences for what you do. You can't just think you're going to do what everybody else does, have a good time, not have any responsibilities, and that you can still get pushed through because your teacher said it's okay. I'm telling you it's not okay because that's not how life works.
It's not?
It's not how life works.
It's not how life works.
You can do your best job to, whether it's raising a child or whether it's in a sport, but you also have to remember the other surrounding influences are major.
Yeah, schooling and if they're pumping that crap out to your kids, it's like it's hard to roll that back.
It is.
The school sports is
my friend
everybody's
does
a winner.
My friend, he's able to do it.
At the end of the day, I did what I had to do because I was scared of my parents.
Exactly. There's you need that healthy fear.
Yeah. My father wasn't my friend until I was old enough to pay him back money. Up until that, he was my father. Now we're friends. Until I can pay him back, he was my father.
I don't think kids have any fear anymore.
No.
Not that you should fear your parents, but there's
there should be some fear.
A healthy fear of you know what?
But
if
even,
I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, there's going to be consequences, and you know what? Not everybody wins.
Not
everybody wins.
Not even just the fear of parents.
Because otherwise, what are you working for?
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's a winner. What are you working for?
It's fear of the future. Like, if this is like, I don't know. It's hard for me to. It's hard for me to identify with a lot of people.
It's
you know
also,
that, but
like nowadays people don't mind disappointment. Like when I got up there, I didn't want to disappoint you guys. Like I just didn't want to disappoint. Now, like you said, people are like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a trophy anyway. So
yeah, it's hard for me to relate. I am extremely competitive.
I don't like to disappoint at all.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like that direction is just I don't know. But I think that maybe this rolls into our next topic, which is is competing for everyone. Like this has become like a new craze now, whether it be in the natural feds or in, the untested federations. Everybody now sees the images and the cute things on Instagram and Facebook and other social media, and everyone thinks that they are going to compete, and they're entitled to compete, and they're entitled to win. With competing, it is a hard task. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Some people have kids, some people have, different genetics, different body types. So everyone's journey is going to be different. The issue is, is everybody actually meant for it? Like I said, everyone's got to put in the work, but is everybody going to be meant for it? All right. So you have some people whose journey to the stage is like trying to snatch a tomato from a moving ceiling fan. That's my dude right there.
I don't understand
Dude, then he holds his head and he's...
I don't know what's worse, dude. Tomato snap or hitting your face on the barbell in the gym.
Alright, so... We'll start with Liz. Do we give out trophies? Do we start a federation for people trying to grab these tomatoes? No, I'm kidding. Is competing for everyone? I mean, I would love to watch that all fucking day.
Absolutely not. I don't. In my opinion, I don't think it is.
I'm working hard. I'm in the gym. I paid money for a trainer. I paid Ryan money to step on stage.
I'm gonna give you my own experience. When I started in this, I was like, "You're right." The friend who told me I should. It's like, "You're right. I'm in great shape. Yeah, that girl. I look relatively good. I can do that. I can just stand on stage in a bikini." Turns out, you're not just standing on stage in a bikini. You are completely changing your entire diet. I thought I was eating good. I was eating relatively good, but there's a whole other aspect of just eating good. There's, am I eating the right things?
In the right amounts.
Am I eating them in the right amounts? Am I eating them to maximize my goals, my growth, whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve to get on that stage? And then there's like, am I doing the right training style? Am I doing what's beneficial? Am I just sitting in the gym every day doing something that I think is working, but it's not? And then even just getting on stage, there's posing, which we all know I had a horrible time doing for a year. That's hard. It's really hard. And if you just think you're going to get up there and stand on stage because you look pretty and you're in shape, you're not really prepared for what's going to happen. It's an emotional thing. Your hormones are crazy.
Let's focus there. It's in terms of all that other stuff, overcoming the posing and stuff like that. That takes dedication. That shows drive. That shows discipline, which is all things that you displayed. I'm talking in terms of, is it for everyone in terms of their mental capacity, their emotional capacity, and again, we're talking physical health now. Certain people have an easier path. Certain people can eat a little more. Some people have to do, just a little more cardio. But there are those extreme cases where no matter what they do, no matter how much cardio they do, no matter what they're trying, no matter how much they mentally want it, their body is not physically going to follow through, and that is genetics.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be a basketball player, and I could have done it mentally, but I'm not built for it. I stopped growing, so I was like, see you later, gotta move on to something else. Like, let's focus on that physical and that genetic. Is it for everyone? Is it worth it to, like, I know it's hard, and yes, no matter what, even the people who are genetically gifted, it is still a stress on the body, the mind. It's like but it should be a teaching process to teach you what you got.
Right.
But there are some people where
don't have it.
Yes, and it borders into being a health risk.
Right.
So again, is it for everyone?
No.
No.
I don't think it is.
No, 100% not.
So I say to you, no split pea soup. You're still in.
I mean, getting off the soup was rough.
I remember the day I had to tell you.
It was heartbreaking. It still hurts my soul deep. I mean, it's just not for everyone. Like, even before you go into the genetics and stuff, you can just talk to people. Everybody wants to do something, but no one wants to do anything. Like, just you talk. Like, I hear all kinds of. You talk to somebody, they're like, "Oh, you know what? You've been working out. You look good. Just stand in third." And I'll say, "Hey, why didn't you do it?" And just listen to the excuses you get before they even start. Like, "Oh, I got kids." I'm like, all right, well, people I work out with, they got kids too. Or they're like, with the women at my job, they're always like, "Oh, I want to do that, but and I'll refer them to you, and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't want to look like a man." I'm like, "Shit, you don't look like a woman." So,
well, that's the thing. That's the thing too. It's like people think that like these girls, like females, they're victims of this a lot. Like they're the ones who say this, where it's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that because I don't want to look too manly." They're taking the idea that it is like so easy to put on muscle. It's like, shit, fucking, I wish it was that easy. Like, you have to rip and tear and claw. Yeah. It's not gonna be like, "Oh, I did a couple of curls and I look like fucking Ronnie Coleman." It's like, that's a misconception too. So again, so now you're focusing more on like the mental capacity about it. Like,
a lot of it is mental. I think 80% of it is mental. I mean, everyone has a dream, but not everyone has the drive to actually get there. I think everyone's motivated by different things in life. When you start off competing, the idea sounds great, the dream looks great. Yeah, I'm gonna look like this, I'm gonna look like this person in a magazine, I'm gonna step on stage. 12 weeks out, everyone's got that adrenaline push, but then you reach that commonality factor 5 weeks in, 5 weeks out, things start changing. You don't have that same drive, you don't have that same motivation. Some people take it a little bit harder. I think I'm going to go back again to experiences, but what people don't understand, who've never done this or who are new to the sport, when this becomes your life, you are in the gym 2 hours, 3 hours a day maybe. Mm-hmm. Your family will suffer if you don't have the support from home, and that's where it starts. If you don't have that support from home to begin with, your experience is going to be horrible, because then number one, you're going to be emotional. Your emotions are going to affect your cortisol levels, especially for women. It's going to make your aesthetics look different. That's going to cause more stress. It's going to mess up your hormones. So I don't think it's for everyone, but I think it's fair to say that everyone deserves a chance to at least try and see, but then they're going to have to assess their own individual motives when they get to that point to say, is this really for me? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not making those commitments and you're not dedicated to the gym every day, yeah, you're tired. That's the life. You're going to be tired. Get yourself to the gym. You might get a little bit more energy in you, but that's just the life. Like, this is the life you live and breathe every day. Yes, family naturally has to suffer a little bit because you can't be involved in everything because you have other commitments. It's a selfish sport. It's a me sport. No one's telling you what time you have to eat. No one's telling you the portion that you have to eat. No one's waking you up at 5 o'clock in the morning to say, oh, you have to go to the gym. It's a me sport.
Again, I feel like this is, again, the mental part.
That taps into the mental.
Let's focus. I want to get the physical. Let's focus physical. If we're talking physical now, if we were prepping, you had a pretty decent. You didn't have a rough ride. You responded to the posing fast. I can honestly say on camera, you respond for a new person never doing this. You responded to the posing and were able to mentally activate any muscle I told you to faster than anybody I've seen in my years of coaching. So that was easy for you.
Except when I got yelled at on stage.
Oh, I definitely.
Oh, I heard the story.
The stories.
I heard it.
All right, so basically,
I was in the zone. Started with that.
Kenny's first show makes it to the overall, okay, and I lose it in the overalls. I'm screaming, I lose my voice, I'm red, and we got to the point where they were doing the quarter turns, okay, and now we were at the rear, okay, and we go to the quarter turn to the sides. We're facing this way, judges here, it's a boom. And I want, like I always say, I want a little bit more of a turn. I want this column of abs to just peak to show the judges. So I'm like, Kenny, turn! This motherfucker goes like this. Turns to the crowd, and I'm like, Kenny, and he's like this. Big, shit-eating grin, smiling. And I'm like, no, Kenny, turn! And and I'm like, Kenny, turn your fucking head! And he's...
The smear of dream care comes down. I'll die. I wanted to run up stage. I was done after that, you know?
But then at the Herc, we go into the Herc, and Malcolm is talking shit to you about don't get yelled at on stage. He goes on stage, he's pretty much fine. Malcolm goes on stage, quarter turn, to the front. After just talking shit, quarter turn, again, he's supposed to turn this way, boom, judges. This guy turns this way, he's facing the curb. I'm like, Malcolm! Screaming, and he's like, all over the place.
First of all, Malcolm has immunity because he twerked on stage.
That's true.
He twerked.
That's true. All right. Let's refocus here. You had a pretty, I wouldn't say easy. Nothing's ever easy. But you had a pretty good run. You had a good run in terms of the posing. You mentally responded. Your body physically responded. Cardio wasn't through the roof, okay, for you. Your macros are pretty decent. Like I'm saying, put yourself in a position where you weren't as shredded. Let's say you were not as lean as you were and you're just fighting for it, and it's like, holy shit, like I need 40 minutes of cardio every day and 60 minutes on my off days, and my carbs need to come as low as 50 or 75 carbs in a day. Is it then worth it? Is it worth it for you maybe for a one-shot deal, but are you going to keep coming back to the table for that?
Honestly, I'm going to say yes. Like, it all goes back to what Heather was saying. It's mental. Like I just didn't want to disappoint. If I knew that my body wasn't responding, I needed 40 minutes, then shit, I'm gonna do 50 minutes.
But again, look what this mentality can do though. More and more and more. What if physically your body does not want to be that lean? This happens. There are people who distribute that fat differently, and they'll store it and store it. It becomes body type. Like, okay. You're looking at it from a perspective of like, all right, if I had to push a little harder to look the way I did and win, fine. I'm saying push even harder, not win, maybe not even place top 5, right, and look a little smushy on stage. And I'm sitting there like, shit, what else are we gonna do? I'm not trying to kill somebody. You know, there are coaches out there that be like 0 carbs for 20 days and 2 hours of cardio a day. I'm not doing that to somebody. Look, you want to leave me, then go ahead. Because you know you're going to go somewhere else, you're probably going to lose there too. So it's not on me. Like, I'm not doing that to somebody. If that was your journey, you know, I can understand a one-shot deal. You try it, you see it. But if that's your journey and you knew it was your journey, put yourself in that perspective and you didn't win or didn't even place, are you coming back? Not just to me. It's not about me or Sci-Unison Fitness, the team SUF. It's about, like, are you going to put yourself through that? And if you have to fight your body that hard, is it fucking healthy?
I mean, no. I mean, it's not healthy, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. No matter what you say, I'm gonna come back. Like, I got no choice.
You're gonna come back. Drake, take yourself out of the winning mentality, and like you know, you dealt with some slight things. I'm not gonna go into detail, but if it was more extreme and you were really suffering, are the wins worth it?
No.
And what if you're even not winning?
No, but it took me a couple years to realize that too, to come to terms with that, because initially when I first started it, my motive was for aesthetic reasons. But after having suffered through some of the health issues that I had and just becoming a little bit older and wiser, because I'm not that young, my health is utmost important. And if I ever have to compromise my health for this, it's a wrap. I'm done. It's not worth it.
No, I feel the same way, but I've also
Well, you have a little bit of a difficult run.
Health problems myself, and the posing almost killed me. I was almost like, I'm done. It's not for me. I can't do it. But I pushed a little bit harder. I practiced every day. But that was my mindset. That I need to at least keep trying. But eventually, it was in my mind that if I can't do it, then I tried my hardest at least. But I would have been done. Because what else can I do? If your body's saying, "Hey, I'm not doing it.
I'm not getting lean. I'm not
getting
the
lean.
abs are not showing
I'm not
through.
gonna let your lats
Holding
come out,
water, like what do you do?
Then
at
what
that
do you
point?
do?
Now you're pretty much pissing in the wind.
To some people,
keep doing it though.
they keep doing it.
They just and then they suffer and then they come back and it's like why?
It's self-awareness. You know.
People need to become a little more self-aware. All right, next topic. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to this is a good one, especially with Liz and Heather here. We're gonna talk about the balance needed for balancing out fitness, life, family, stuff like that. Being healthy in especially today's society. With fast foods and barbecues and family functions and really expensive desserts and really, really good liquor. It's very hard, to always stay on top of the game, especially if you're at the extremes. We're talking regular day-to-day health and fitness. It's one thing, but if we're talking the competitive realm, it's very difficult, especially at those family functions, especially with friends. You're amongst these people, and sometimes, you're sticking out. You feel like you don't fit in. It's almost like, Mr. Grinch doing a yoga class.
And release all of those sounds that are trapped in your mind.
Wait till you hear the audio. All right, so Liz, we're going to start with you.
I think that was my first yoga experience as well.
Okay, so Liz, dressed as the Grinch, first yoga experience.
I've never done yoga.
Me either. I'm playing on it.
Me neither.
All right, so you got the family, all right, and we're trying to be fit mom, and it's not just fit mom, it grew into competitive mom, super competitive mom,
Yes.
dual pro fit mom. How do you do it?
Like I do anything else. I'm like autopilot. I don't know. You just really have to want it. You can't make those excuses. I work a full-time job. I'm an accountant. And like I said before, 4 years out of the month, I'm working like 60, 80-hour weeks. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to fit my gym in. Or I'm at a 24-hour gym at midnight, fitting it in. So that I go to work, I'm home, I cook for my kids, make sure everyone's homework is done, or, tracking them down, who's out of sport, where do I need to be? Mm-hmm. And then usually it's like when everyone else is supposed to be sleeping, that's when I find my time and I take and I do what I've set out to do for myself.
What about the balance part in terms of you're on prep, and you have to eat the way you have to eat, and boom, you have the family functions. And you have all this stuff, and it's like, oh, it's okay. You can have a little bit of this. How do you...
There's always that. That's just got to be self-discipline. You know, there's been times where I'm going away for the weekend. Guess what? I packed up my ISO bag and I brought my food with me like a freak.
So planning is always planning. It's always
planning. As far as home life, you know, with kids, it's hard. They want snacks. I buy snacks that I don't want. That's how I fix that. I buy things I know I won't eat, or, you know, fortunately for me, my kids are great. I get them to eat healthy. My little one loves salad. You know, I push it on them. You know, they'll eat what you show them to eat. You know, but you know, sometimes not everybody's gonna want fish that night. Unfortunately, I've become the short order cook, and I'm making 2 different meals or 3 different meals because I'm prepping mine as well. You know. It's hard. It is hard to balance life and this fitness,
especially at the
life and competitive, and then throw 4 weeks out into there when you're losing your mind and you're hormonal and you're all over the place, and it's like, okay, pizza for a week.
Yeah.
Everybody's eating pizza, and I'm over there, eating my broccoli. But is it worth it? Do you want this? And you have to rely on help too. You can't be afraid to ask for help from family to help you out. All right.
I think I have a nice cure for this. I feel like if the human race was born without taste buds, we'd have no problem. Think about it.
But just a smell.
Who cares? If you had no taste buds, I thought of this a couple weeks ago. If you had no taste buds, never. You were born with no taste buds. You don't care about the taste of anything. You could eat like a machine. It's like, these are nutrients required. Eat. I don't taste anything. I eat cookies because they taste good.
Then I don't think we'd have any food. Everything would just be like a little pill you could order.
Is that our way of doing this? Or are we just saying this, or am I just saying this because I don't have kids?
I think you just blew everyone's mind.
You're just saying this because you're on prep right now.
I don't think anyone should have taste buds.
Yeah, prep was like
if you remove the taste buds now, you already remember what ice cream tastes like. So it's going to be like, what the fuck? If you never had taste buds? If you never had taste buds.
If I never had taste buds, I'd still eat White Castles. I would still do it.
But you know what? These things would still be weird because texture. Like after a while, eating egg whites became horrible for me. I can only drink them. I couldn't eat them.
I understand the texture thing.
Yeah, like the texture. Like you have no taste buds, but you can still feel things.
I know, but it's the taste. Like the cookies, they taste so good. If you didn't have those taste buds, we would be a great species.
You wouldn't know that anything tastes great, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Ignorance is bliss. Heather, am I on the wrong track here?
No, you're on the right track because I'm always, you are, and this is why, because you don't realize until you're in prep or when you're so disciplined, whether it's bodybuilding or some other sport that involves you to eat very strict, you're always reminded why your life is different when you're in any social gathering, because every single social gathering involves food.
That's what I'm saying. So it's hard to fit in. So if we want to fit in, I feel like we should remove taste buds.
Well, that would be all great, but
But like what Heather
I
said,
feel like something else would replace it. Like,
I
only like red food now.
No, like you said, we would still have our sense of smell. I mean, when I was in prep, people would bring, obviously, to a police precinct.
The sense of smell triggers your thought of taste.
But you're right.
If you had no taste, who cares?
No, it's not true. Because people bring, of course, the one thing they bring to every police precinct, they swear we eat donuts. When I was in prep, I shit you not, I took donuts and put them in a brown paper bag and I huffed them like a baker in the bag of chips. I was like sniffing donuts and I just gave it to them. Yeah, I was I shit you not. I was like sniffing it and shaking. It was
But
how hard is it to fit in at these functions? Everything is where we go.
Oh, even self-discipline.
Yeah,
Listen, I have 2 kids. My oldest just graduated. Their father is a member to Sam's. I don't know if Sam's is nationwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Costco, BJ.
Yeah, okay. So buy in bulk.
It's Walmart's brand.
Yeah, so he brings every other week loads of snacks for school. We're talking Pop-Tarts, chips, bread, white bread at that, pizza, the little individual pizzas, egg rolls,
7-Eleven pizza.
And ramen noodles.
That used to be our currency back in the day.
My cabinetry is stacked.
Are you in the yard or something?
This is stuff that's in my face every single day. But even before I got into this, I was never really big on like junk food. I had to eat different because I was a runner, so I had more pasta, but I was still like a healthy eater. So I think it's up to the individual. It's up to your upbringing, your childhood, what you are used to. Like Liz said, her kids, they like to eat healthy. Why? Because that's what they were raised. That's how they were raised. Mm-hmm. My oldest, I wasn't in the sport when my oldest was growing up, so he eats whatever he wants. My youngest, though, he thanked me 2 weeks ago when his football coach told all the players, you guys need to start eating a little bit healthy because some of you look like you've been playing video games all summer long. And he thanked me, Mom, thank you for teaching me how to eat healthy.
Nice.
Okay. Kids are one thing. They should be listening to you, hopefully.
Absolutely.
But we talk about, let's say you have a business meeting. Let's say, you're on prep.
Mm-hmm.
You meet a girl. You want to go. You want to go. What is everything based on? Drinking and eating.
Yes.
What the fuck? What do you do?
I mean,
take out the taste buds.
It goes to like they were saying, family and friends, the people you have around you. Because when I was on prep, I was dating a girl, and she would when she wanted to go out, she's like, oh, I looked at this restaurant. They have nasty fish that you like. You can drink water. So it was always that. Or if I went to work, my captain would be like, Jefferson, you eat the fucking celery over there. So everyone that I was friends with and family with, they knew what I was doing. So when I would go to these gatherings, they would just make sure that I didn't screw up because they knew what I was trying to do.
So you had a better experience fitting in.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like the Grinch.
You're right. It's
in
not.
yoga.
Yeah, I just didn't.
So you weren't the Grinch in the yoga class?
No.
Okay.
But
I have like people bring stuff to my office all the time. Clients will drop stuff off. Like, here's candy.
I have a
here's
client-
coffee cake.
I
And
have
I'm
a
like,
client that brings me
"You're
my favorite
killing
Mike
me."
and Ike's. I'm like 40 pounds overweight, and this one always comes. I don't know. She just drops off these box of Mike and Ike's.
Do you lose them like you lost mine?
Save them for shows. I hope.
It's hard. She brings the fucking Mike and Ike's.
Did you lose them like you lost
I
mine?
didn't mean to lose him, bro. I put him in my pocket.
But they were the only ones I eat.
He's got a
Is it
specific.
the blue box?
No, he's got a
It's
specific
hot tamales.
nasty hot tamale.
Oh.
Gross. So we had
You
him
don't like hot
count
tamales?
it.
No.
No.
This is the weird we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. He had him in a little like saran wrap thing. I put it in my pocket. We were trying to rush to get him, and it's like I think I dropped him. So I dropped him. It's time for him to have the Mike and Ike's before he goes on stage. And he's like, "Yeah, my Mike and Ike's." I'm like,
Are they all sweaty? And
"No,
stuff?
I dropped
Just
them.
eat
I didn't have them."
them.
I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "You gotta eat these." He's like, "I won't eat those." I was like, "You will eat these."
That's how you said it. And I was like, where's my Mike and Ike's? I can't eat it. I was like, eat the fucking Mike and Ike's. Once again, a dream can comes streaking out my face. I'm crying on stage.
Did I wipe that off you later?
I think so.
He's Team Diva.
Yeah,
He's
look.
Diva.
Oh.
This guy
No.
hashtag Diva all over the place.
I don't know.
This
I don't know how that
guy,
happened.
when he gets mad, he goes to his trailer by himself, gets in his chair. Yes.
I don't know how that happened. Right?
funny.
I just wanted my damn Mike and Ike's.
All right.
Aw.
So
But back to the balance, like,
Dicks.
I think it is just up to the individual. You have to be very regimented when it comes to doing this because if you have kids, you have to have, especially if they're school age, get your training done at certain times, school conferences, whether it's, sports, helping them with homework, cooking. I too am an accountant. I work for the federal government. I've been working with them for 14 years. Thankfully, I work from home 50% of the time, so I'm able to flex my time when it comes to having to appear at certain events or having to do certain photo shoots or prepping for a show. I can be a little bit more flexible with my time. So if I wasn't able to telework, I honestly don't know how I would be able to do it. I just don't.
Yeah,
think
I do
would
the
have
same
the
thing.
time.
I work remotely from home too a lot.
Yeah.
I said it helps.
If I've got to be home with
Yeah.
a sick kid, I'm at my desk
Yeah.
home working.
All right. So I think we did pretty good there too. All right. Next topic is not as serious. I mean, for us. I mean, for the parties involved, it's pretty serious. Recently Instagram launched Instagram Stories, which seems to be exactly like Snapchat.
Not exactly.
Minus the filters, I know, but those filters will be coming. These things seem almost exactly identical, and they are going to be involved in a nice little street fight for, viewers and social media supremacy. So before we go to the panel and talk to them about their experiences with the apps, if they even have experience, we're going to go to our social media expert. So Drake,
That's how I feel every day.
we are gonna start with you. What do we got here? Who's gonna rule this? Who's gonna win this battle? Instagram stories or Snapchat?
Well, Instagram, we talked the other day, their platform is much larger. I think it's going to take time because when people are used to being on Snapchat, which has been around for some time, and I think it's really gotten big within the past year for fitness because Snapchat didn't start off as a good media tool for
Sexting,
fitness.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
little perverts.
Exactly. But the fitness world has changed, and now everybody's on Snapchat. The great thing with Snapchat, you can download, you can push it onto Instagram. Well, now Instagram has stories which serves the same exact purpose, so why have two different platforms? I still use Snapchat because it's out of habit. It would just take me getting used to kind of
So
weaning
Snapchat's
myself
done.
off. Eventually, I think it's gonna be gone. If Instagram can mirror their filters, because the puppy filters when Olympics were out and they had all the Olympic filters, if they can mirror it like that,
I think they're gonna do it. They got the big money.
win.
They got the
Yeah.
big money. All right, and it's a
easier.
couple of years back. Was I think Zuckerberg went to Snapchat and said $3 billion, and Snapchat said no. So if I come to you and I'm like, yo, $3 billion cash, that means you're in a position of power. I'd be like 3.75.
$3 billion. If you came to me when I was prepping with $20 and Slippy suit you had, so $3 billion.
But now they turn that offer down, and now Instagram says, hey, I'm going to do what you do, but better. I have better servers. I have more money behind me. Now you're going to have to buy Snapchat because you have to take the road resistance.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're siphoning off users. That $3 billion just became 200 million.
Yep.
Like, well, they're going to have really nobody. I mean, for me personally, I never used Snapchat. Someone told me, it's like, oh, okay, Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat is used for, you post these photos and they're gone in 24 hours. I'm like, as a business, I don't see the use in that. Especially for me to open up another app. I'm like, ugh, my life is complicated as it is.
Right.
But then once Instagram stories came, I was like, oh, this fucking shit, who cares? And then I was like, you know what? This has a place for me because there's plenty of weird, crazy shit that I encounter in a day or project. Yeah, Leroy, definitely. Everything with Leroy should be storied. All the projects I'm working on, stuff like that. Like these projects, I may not want to.
You should be doing this right now on your story.
My
We're
phone is
talking.
actually a video camera. I can't. I know. But there are certain things like if I'm building, I'm working on Eve or Janice and Grant, and anyone who doesn't know who those things are, they can go fuck themselves. If I'm doing work on them, the Instagram wall for me where the pictures are posted, that's where the final product goes, or like a critical phase. But like the day-to-day bullshit, that doesn't belong on the wall. So Instagram stories wrap me in. I was never a Snapchat person. Now it's like, ooh, story. I'm gonna save the photos again for myself, but I'm a IG stories guy. As what do you do any of this?
No, I don't know how to use either one of them.
Oh, so
I've never Snapchatted. I mean, I have IG because I just steal most of your photos from IG.
okay.
Hashtag diva.
But now, if you were gonna do these things that disappeared in 24 hours, would you want another application that you had to log into and go to another thing? Or would you rather be in one place?
I'd rather be in one place. I mean, I'm not. Technology's not really my thing. I don't know too much about it.
I love it.
I use my computer for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh no, Liz.
Like ESPN.com, freaking Facebook, and if something ever happens to me, delete my browser, that kind of stuff.
On that note, Liz.
Instagram all the way. I mean, everything's in one platform right there. Who needs another,
It's just
app
another
to
thing to
open?
do, right?
And honestly, first time I ever tried Snapchat, I had to ask my son how to use it. I couldn't figure it out.
Me too.
And it's like, you know what, Instagram is just fine for me. And, stories, you're right. It's like something happens randomly that, I'd like to tell everyone about, but I don't necessarily want to just keep that around. It's not relevant to, my fitness or anything like that. It's fun.
So Snapchat's done.
Yeah, I think it's done.
Kenny is Snapchat
Or,
done.
it'll
Done.
stay.
It'll stay for a certain.
It'll stay for a certain age.
Yeah,
I
the
think
sex
so.
thing, all the
Yeah,
creeps.
it'll go back to
All
sex.
the
And
creeps.
I think it'll, know,
They're gonna be
like,
the Craigslist.
the younger
of-
kids who like have caught on.
Yes.
I think it'll stay for younger kids too, who have caught on to their moms and parents checking their text messages.
Oh,
you know,
well,
now Snapchat's
that's
gone.
the thing. Like my kids, like I have to use social media. Like it's on my contract for my sponsors. It is a requirement. We have to post 3 posts, dedicated posts, certain times of the day, certain times of the week, not for one sponsor, but for 2 sponsors. And my kids are on social media. They watch me at every single angle, everything that I do, every step of the way. Do I want to cause them any embarrassment?
Word.
No, because it doesn't matter if you delete it after 24 hours or if it deletes itself. It's still out there.
Someone
on the
could've-
cloud.
someone could've taken it, yeah.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
somehow.
Capture.
But I think that social media is definitely an important tool. I think that it's awesome in terms of people like us who aren't in the same vicinity, proximity of each other. We are supporting each other.
We're talking about social
each
media as a
other.
whole.
As a whole,
Oh, so yeah,
I
okay,
think it's
good.
great.
Yeah,
When we
so
talk
now
about the
yeah.
pros and cons of it, like, you know, everyone's there supporting each other, which is awesome, but, you know, you kind of have to use social, when you get to a certain point, your social media, my social media, I'll just use my experience, is now a fitness resume. It's no longer my really true social media because I can't post everything I would want to post because I'm under eyeballs.
Right.
Of not only the federation, my teammates, my kids, my sponsors. It has to be
Yeah.
specific targets.
So this leads us into like, you know, kind of a subtopic here where it's like, we talked about IG versus Snapchat, but if we talk about social media as a whole, your Facebooks, YouTube, all that stuff, like pros and cons. Like, obviously, I feel like the pros are, like you said, you're not from around here, like, and we could still like communicate. We could still feel like we are the team that we are. You know, there are definitely those pros, but negatives. You know, social media gives people a voice. I'm gonna sound pretty tyrannical here, but I don't feel like everybody should have a voice. And that's the problem. It gives everybody a voice. Yeah. Everybody's an expert. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's this. Everybody's that. You can look great yourself and be an absolute shit for brains. You post a couple of photos. You put in the bio. Email me for fucking this. And then it's like, boom, it's there. Like, so, you know, what do we got? Is social media, do we stop? We go back to the Stone Age again?
Oh, but the hashtag game. It's all about the hashtag game.
Yeah, but still, it's still like...
I know, but it's you know, people ask, like, if you ever notice the natural bodybuilders, they don't have as many followers as people who are NPC. Why? Because if you hashtag NPC, or you do an NPC show and you're on stage and you do halfway good, you're automatically published in their magazine. And it, like, remember we talked the other day about certain hashtags go systemically to other programs, and you get these, oh, you should be a rep. Would you like to be a rep?
Yeah, it's all automated.
That's all automated, and which I think is silly. But yeah, it's just it's a weird. There's cons to that, but at the same time, it's hard to stand out on social media, especially when you're a female, because everyone's doing the same thing. But I think if you're unique, and
I feel like it's hard to stand out as a male.
Think so too.
well,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm a little biased, but it's just everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's quoting the same quotes. It's be unique. Everyone's pretentious. You know, I'm important because I do this or because I did that. Just be who you are. I think people will gravitate to you better. I love having followers because I know I'm motivating somebody and I need that for my
Followers on Instagram or followers in life?
Followers
people that follow
on
you to the
Instagram
store
because
and
I'm promoting product.
I was making a joke.
Oh, see, now I'm getting serious.
Yeah, listen to me.
How
He's
dare
like,
you?
no, Linda, listen.
Linda!
Linda.
Yeah, I get it. I guess you also brought up the hashtags. That's probably why I don't have as many followers, because all my hashtags are just wild and crazy.
But do you want pretentious?
No.
Pretentious.
Oh, no. I don't want.
Or do you
no.
want real people who?
I want real
believe
people.
you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want real people.
Exactly.
The vein train's figured out.
The vein train. I used that
So you don't
on
pay
someone.
for your followers?
No.
What?
You're not going to pay for your followers?
Oh no.
man.
I'm not gonna pay for my
Vein
followers.
train's figured
People
out.
really do that.
Vein train should be a hashtag.
They should. I'm gonna start hashtagging the vein
Wait,
train.
what hashtag?
Vein train.
Vein
See,
train.
When you're
Heather doesn't
vascular,
follow me, so
yeah.
she wouldn't know.
She doesn't follow you?
No.
Oh, you put her on blast.
I've heard about that.
Yes.
I have heard about that.
Yes.
This follows me.
Now-
Shauna follows me.
Oh,
Ryan follows me.
look at the
So,
face.
I mean, I don't know why we have the seating arrangement here.
Well, we have the seating arrangement mostly because of what Heather had to do, what she did yesterday. Basically, Heather
We don't need to talk about that next topic.
Heather was at the gym and decided to put a weight away and not practice proper gym safety. And here's how it worked. Sometimes the people who know me know how like mentally like crazy I get. So I'm in the gym and I'm just like I'm focusing on basically this fucking show, and I'm just here. Like I get so here that I forget where I am. I forget what day it is. I forget everything. So I'm there and I'm unaware of anything else. I'm doing ab exercise, and Heather walks across the gym nonchalantly putting a weight away. I look and I'm like, I was startled because I'm like, Heather's here. That's right. It's just I was so
I took my workout outside.
yeah, but still, like I wasn't near her. It's not like we were working out together. It was just like I was so out of the moment that when I saw Heather, I was surprised that Heather was there, even though I drove her there. That's how that's how entrenched I was. Like Heather's here, but whatever. So that's one. Then the second thing is I'm looking at the pictures on the wall. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to get a picture. Maybe I'll put Heather on my shoulders. I'll lift her up and she could point at her photo on the wall. So I'm thinking in my head, and then the owner of the gym comes in, who's a little old school. He's a good guy, but I'm like, I don't want to draw too much attention. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for the photo. So I'm sitting in and exercise. My second experience with seeing Heather is Heather walking over, and there's blood down her face and her eyes, on her legs, and I'm like, like.
In my eyeball.
Yeah, it's like blood. I'm like mortified. So basically, that's why she's sitting there, because she hit her face on the dumbbell.
I don't see that workout
On
on
the
my.
barbell.
I don't see that workout on my
On Instagram.
program.
Oh, Heather.
Did we IG story her carry incident?
Yeah, just the bloody tissue, basically.
I don't know what curls
No,
down.
I was re-racking the weights.
Yeah, she's putting the weight on the rack, and the squat bar, the bar was up here, and she came up and hit her face on it.
So it was like,
Safety first, right? Like we all know we're not supposed to do that. And what did I do?
But
I was feeling
she
what
put
I
it.
did.
She put it on Facebook. I mean, she put it on Instagram.
oh,
Is this a pro or a con? Oh, but it's probably not anything for
Probably
you.
gone
I
now.
don't really see it because hashtag not following me. I mean that hashtag's pretty good.
Oh, we gotta correct that.
Well,
No, I'm over it. I'm over it now.
That's the one your pity follow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Give me some dream tan so it can come down my face now.
Yeah, the dream
I'm
tan.
done.
Redemption.
I'm over it.
Redemption.
I am over it.
Liz, pros and cons. What do we got? Social media.
Social media, it's pro to get yourself out there, to get noticed if that's your goal, or just to help people, support them, motivate them. But it does have a lot of cons because, like you said, there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, I'm in shape, and guess what? Now I'm a coach, and you should email me for plans.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know a few people like that who I've seen them in the gym over years, and they're like, oh, you look really great. Next thing I know, all of a sudden that person's saying, email me for plans. And I'm like, when did so-and-so become a coach or even a trainer?
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't. They just, because, people are telling them they look great, they must know the secrets. They must know everything. But, as you know, not everybody's the same. You can't give everybody the same plan. What works for me is not going to work for you.
So let's go course table real quick. More pro or more con?
Definitely more pro when you think of it in terms of a business and marketing specific brands, and if you're trying to just cater towards a specific target, you don't have to feed into everything that people are gonna hate. People are gonna say stupid things.
I love fucking
But
haters.
you just have to know who your target audience is.
So pro, overwhelming pro or con?
Like you said, more pro. Saying pretty much everything she touched on, and pretty much it. Once you figure out what you're doing, you can tell us less cons than there's pros.
I'm gonna go with more pro. I like posting what I post. I like highlighting my athletes. I like being able to keep in touch with my athletes who are far away. I like reminding people that I'm better than them, and yeah, I'm going overwhelming pro.
I think it's a pro as well.
Okay. All right, let's hit this last topic. I don't know if Kenny's ready for this one, but okay. We're going to talk about the difference between if it fits your macros, okay, the IIFYM, and counting macros. So how would you react if I told you that they are different? They're not the same. You know, you don't have to follow one to follow the other. I found a very, very dramatic chipmunk this week, and this is how he reacted. All right, so I'm going to start this one off, and because this basically got me into some not some trouble, because I don't really care what people say. It got me some issues, caused some confusion. There was this girl. She was on the team last year. I think she went pro in, I think it was bikini. She's an absolute waste. But anyway, she confused the whole idea of if it fits your macros, and said that it screwed up her metabolism, when no one essentially told this Einstein of the industry that if it fits your macros, it's not really what we do. We're counting the macros. We in order for you to lose the weight and to be more efficient, you have to, anything that is going to be monitored and adjusted has to be measured. So I've always counted macros. It's like politics, even though, like I said, we'll not discuss in politics here, but it's like politics. You have the extreme left and right. And with this argument, with the macro thing, you have the extreme left, which is like, if it fits your macros, I'm going to eat Pop-Tarts and this and that all day, and if it fits, it fits. And then you have the hardcore to the other side, the right wing, and it's like, nope, it's going to be tilapia and asparagus every day, and there is a middle ground. But just because you say if it fits your macros, that's not really our approach. Our approach is counting macros. If it fits your macros brings to mind things of like, oh, I'm gonna daily have pancakes and syrup, and I'm gonna count all of it, and it fits. But we go more toward counting macros as we get closer toward the show. We want to make sure we're eating cleaner sources, because when you get put onto those poverty macros and things are getting lower, I don't care what fucking fits. What's your body gonna run better on? Crap or good filling food? What are you gonna feel better with energy wise? Like, yeah. So that I want to just clear up some of that confusion. Heather, have you bumped into that type of confusion where people...
Yes. I see a lot of people who are trained under that philosophy, if it fits your macros. So you see a lot of postings, hashtag if it fits your macros. It's cool, okay. But here's the deal. If you're training for performance, it's one thing to have if it fits your macros, or if it has macros that just fit but are also going to be customized to how you perform.
So you're saying there's a difference?
There's a huge difference, because aesthetically,
chipmunk.
Two people who have the same macro count are not going to look the same. They're not going to feel the same. If your goal is to perform and you're trying to work hard and you have intense workouts, I think it's very important to have density foods that are clean macros. But if your goal is just to ease your way through a workout and you don't want it to be hard, maybe if it fits your macros is for you. But that's just not me. I think that it's important to look, especially when you're in the sport of figure, or whether it's bikini or physique, anything in natural bodybuilding. Your body will never metabolize the same way if you're eating Pop-Tarts compared to a sweet potato. It's just not the same. Your body digests.
Especially when those macros are lower.
Carbs are different. You have fibrous carbs, you have simple carbs, you have complex carbs. What's the difference? The digestion process. You're going to hold more.
And what's more natural, what's processed, what's got shit in it.
Exactly.
Like, when everyone's... That's why I like doing it in phases, where it's like when you start the diet, we're far out. Like, yeah, okay, you can have this in on your high carb day, fine, no, whatever. But as you get closer, and your skin starts to get thinner, and you want less variables, and you want to come in at your best, it's like, why fucking chance it? Why? So you can post a picture on fucking social media? Like, no one cares if you're eating fucking Pop-Tarts. Go kill yourself. Like, who cares? It's like, do what do what's best for your body.
For your body.
If you're one of those people,
And
which
you're
I know, there are some people, guy and girl, who I've known who have had macros that have been through.
Powerlifters can get away with that.
Yeah, because they're fat.
They have to.
Yeah, of course. But I'm talking about in our world. I've had PO. I've had people who even like weeks before stepping on stage, like they're shredded and their macros are high. Those people, in theory, could maybe have a Pop-Tart because that Pop-Tart relative to what they're taking in on a given day, it's like it kind of gets lost in the process.
Right.
But if you got 100 fucking carbs for the day and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a Pop-Tart and that's 70, it's like, are you dumb?
Yeah.
Like, what?
There's no density.
Yes, it becomes a long-term problem.
Yeah.
So, split pea soup, where's it for?
Oh man, well,
He loves split pea
I was
soup.
gonna say, what's up with this?
Yes, he loves
this was amazing.
He loves split pea soup. I took it out because
What is a pea? Is that a vegetable?
What?
What is a pea?
Yeah, it's a pea. I
Sorry.
was hating on
I
peas.
think
I was
peas
hating
are
on
starch.
peas, and then I was.
Wait a minute.
We've been
It's a lagoon, isn't it?
Is it a lagoon?
Because it comes in a pod.
It's
I don't know what this one is at all.
I don't
Peas
know.
might be
Vegetable.
considered a bean.
No, I don't know.
Possibly.
A bean?
Like a
Tastes
I think
lagoon.
they are.
Maybe.
Tastes good.
It tastes.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
Who knows?
this guy was stuck on split pea soup, made by some guy in a hostel up the block. I have no idea.
How many
and
grams of carbs are in
we didn't
this
know.
split pea
So I was
soup?
like, we got to take this out. I don't know what sodium's in there. We can't measure this. And he almost broke down at Junkyard.
And then my grilled cheese sandwich, you took that from me.
Yeah. So.
What kind of bread were you?
I was using Pepperidge Farm French toast bread.
On a grilled cheese?
Yeah, it was. You guys don't know good eats. It was amazing. But yeah, I think it's a difference only with I don't know as much as you guys know about it, but I could just see the difference when you were kind of like you
In
said.
terms of what? Performance?
My look,
Okay.
because like you said, you gave me the macros, but at first you was like, okay, you can eat this as long as it fits, but my body wasn't reacting to it too well. But the closer I got, you were like, all right, you gotta cut out all the nonsense and you gotta eat completely clean and just count the macros, and it just
So you
took
see
off.
now the difference between the two.
Yeah,
Did you feel better?
a lot better. Yeah.
I mean, mentally, it's like, yes, you want the shitty foods, but in terms of how your body's going to physically perform
Oh, yeah.
in that calorie deficit with the cardio, with the hard training, it's like,
Because I was doing more cardio than I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Like when I was first
oh, yeah.
the first side, I was just doing exactly that and almost dying. But then once I started counting it the way you told me to, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep running, keep
Yeah.
running. Then the vein train came.
The vein, hashtag vein
That
train.
vein train came into town.
Where do you stand here? Do you bump into this confusion? Is there a mix? Is it?
There's a mix. I myself bumped into the confusion. I mean, you even said it to me this year. You look a lot better than last year. What did you do different? I'm like, I finally learned how to eat right. I was counting the macros, but I decided that even though I made that one cookie fit when I was having a meltdown, it was much better to eat better food to fit the macros.
Especially as you get closer.
Especially as you're getting closer. Yeah, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Egg whites and asparagus, became staple, but I looked a lot better.
Yeah.
Rather than
Asparagus is
me
terrible.
making sure I could fit that one
Raw
snack in
asparagus.
every day.
Yeah.
Any kind of asparagus.
So I mean, there's a difference. I felt different. I looked different, and I've even seen it with friends of mine who are like training, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm having my one cheat meal this week, and I'm like, cheat meal? What's that? I'm like, what's that? And then they've been working out with me for a while and they look great, and then all of a sudden their one cheat meal a week, they progress is going backwards.
Because that's the thing. If
Because-
it's not monitored,
you're
that could set you back to Monday.
that could send you back weeks
Yeah.
in just a day. It's like
What is that called? The bro diet? Isn't there? a
Well, the
term
bro
for that?
diet would be, I guess the bro foods would be kind of like eating clean. It's like, there's so many different terms. That's why it gets complicated. It's like, if it fits your macros, are the extreme liberals where like, oh, it's
as
a
long as it
fucking
fits,
party.
I'm gonna eat it.
Like,
But there's
yeah.
a big difference between like 30 grams of good fat
Yeah.
and 30 grams of
And then
bad
there's
fat.
the extreme, like, the fanatics who are like, nope, everything is clean.
Yeah,
Everything.
that's-
And then I feel like we have a good thing where it's like we work in levels. We start here, and then
Because you
as we
give
get
us our
closer,
refeed
yeah,
days.
we refeeds. That's where you can be a little more liberal.
Flexible.
Yeah, and as we get closer, things get, as they should, they get a little more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, All right, so glad we could
You
finally.
have your fluff and your peanut butter and honey one.
What was that? At my thing was the.
Fluff?
No, rice cake. No, I had the
Rice
rice
cake,
cake with the
peanut butter, and
bacon
bacon.
bits and the salt.
It's actually really good.
She was
yeah, the salt.
hating. She was
I
so
was.
hating.
But I tried it and it was.
Hating. And then all she wanted was the yams mixed with the animal crackers and the fluff. Yeah.
I've never had fluff.
Fluff is
amazing.
Now's the time to have fluff.
Yes.
I eat anything now. Like I just,
Get fluff.
I walked in here with a bag of marshmallows.
Your life
Yeah, he
will
did.
change.
He did. We did walk in with. Oh, you didn't see him. He walked in.
He said marshmallows, so if he
Yeah.
likes marshmallows.
He
yeah.
he
I
walked
love
in.
fluff.
He walked in today with a bag of marshmallows.
Well, you're
I think you're
Pretty good.
a shoe-in.
I think I put it on my Instagram, but you guys will definitely see it later. You guys will see it later.
I
So
gotta get his Instagram.
Oh,
hashtag blocked. Hashtag blocked.
Alright, so I feel like we got everything covered today. We went through our topics. We were well. Alright, we did good. So this was again the first official edition of Tough Table. And until next time.
Until next time.
Bye bye.
Holy shit, I'm